So if each of you could give one piece of advice to young people, students thinking about pursuing a career in this field, in media and communications and journalism, what would it be?
Yeah, for journalism, I would say start writing and reading a lot. But in terms of thinking about schools and going to university, I would advise you not to go in being quite sure about what you want to study. Take classes in a lot of different areas, and when you're 17 or 18 or 19, it's very hard to know what you want to do with your life. So think about other options.
But I actually grew up in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and my father actually studied history, like Jonathan, and in Harvard, and I think early on, it was clear that education needed to be focused on sort of delving into the world of knowledge, in understanding ideas, in understanding the theories that had shaped, Western civilization and all the things that I was interested in at the time, and not necessarily something that's focused on what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. I think it's very difficult when you're, 17, 18-year-olds to choose a path and go down that path, and that's exactly what you're going to be doing, for the rest of your life. I think the point of an education is to really be exposed to the world's greatest thinkers, to be passionate about what it is that you're studying. And I think a liberal arts education, very similar to Normandy's experience, it really focuses on knowledge for the sake of knowledge. I went to a school which is almost a little bit radical in that sense. There were no grades. They asked you to read all of the great books that had defined sort of Western thought in the first 2 years. You were asked to write a thesis in your last year. And when you're not studying towards a goal, when you're not studying for a B plus or an A or a B, you realize that the point of it is much bigger, that it's about the quality of your thinking, the quality of your articulation. It's about the ability to have your own unique and specific and well-articulated point of view.
Right. And I would give some very practical advice if anyone's interested in going into journalism. It's not a vastly quickly expanding industry right now. Actually, quite the opposite. It's sort of contracting a little bit. And then it's nothing to do with Lehman Brothers. It has more to do with the internet and more people reading stuff online. But if you want to get into journalism, you need to start writing as much as you can, and start writing often and early, and you have to be willing to do it for free probably at first, and get a track record and have things that you can cut out and show people, I wrote this, because again, it's just like what Peter said. It's like you don't need to go to journalism school to be a journalist, because you have to learn the lingo. If you read a newspaper article, none of us really talk exactly like a newspaper article, but you just got to sort of figure out how to write that way. Actually, it took me a little while to figure out how to write like newspaperese, because what I was writing before was not, okay? It was not. And the other thing I would say is read a lot of newspapers as well, which is what I do.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what Normandy is doing as well. It's just you got to read. I read, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9 papers.
Yeah.